Welcome to Beyond the Headlines on WMBD Plus, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Brianna Rittman.
And I'm Cameron Main. Today we're getting more information from the Peoria County Coroner on the skull that was found over the weekend outside of East Peoria. Then an update on the strike going on at Illinois State University.
And lastly, today is April 15th, which means it's tax day. We'll let you know some last-minute tips. But first, our first story of the day, we have new details regarding a human skull found in East Peoria on Sunday. So we have Alex Berger, favorite friend of the program.
Thank you.
He's here sitting in the hot seat to go over the details with us. So Alex, what are those details, those last minute tips?
Yeah, that's right. So today, what we learned is that the skull that was found right outside of East Peoria, right around East Peoria, is not the remains of Alexis Scott, who's been missing since 2017. That is the major news today. What happens is a lot of times when something of this matter happens, when remains are found, a lot of the names of missing persons are brought up, right? So in this case, one of the main people who was thought of was Alexis Scott. And so obviously this comes after Robert B.'s alleged killer was arrested. And so this has kind of been a lot of things going on. And there was another skull found just weeks prior. So this has kind of been something on people's mind on, is this Alexis Scott? That was a lot of speculation online. It was determined that is not. And they are moving forward with the identification process that way.
So it's not Alexis Scott. So how did they determine who this person was or who they weren't, at least?
Yeah, it's a very scientific process. They determine this through dental records. So the first thing that happens when they find remains like this is their first step is to rule out. That's the quickest thing that they can do, quick in quotation marks. Basically what they do is they take the existing dental records of the missing person, in this case Alexis Scott. They take her dental records, so they took her dental records, compared it with that of the skull, of the makeup of the skull, the mandible, stuff like that, to see if it is a match. In this case, it was not. It is not the same makeup of the skull, and so they were able to rule her out for the identification of this. And that's kind of the, in a way, quickest thing they could do. That's their first step.
Okay. And I know this was Alexis Camry Scott's name came up a couple of times because the area where the skull was found was a search area when she first went missing. And so that's why I guess she was on the top of the list of people to see if it was or was not her.
Right.
But since we have now ruled out, unfortunately for her family, that it was not her, what is next?
Yeah, so the skull is going off to the forensic anthropologist with the Peoria County Coroner. Now, I should also say it is the Tazewell County Coroner's case, but it is in conjunction with the Peoria County Coroner because they work with their forensic pathologist.
Okay.
Anyway, this is going off to the forensic anthropologist to study the skull. They can see how long it was been there, because it was, buried a little bit. So they're going to see how long it was been there. They can see if there was any blunt force injuries to the skull itself. And that's going to take some time. I talked to Jamie Harwood today, who talked about that process. And it is a lengthy process. And they basically said that there is a 6 to 9 month wait. So truthfully, we may not know who this person is possibly until next year. And that's just how this is. That's the process this has to go through before we can actually find out whose remains these are.
Okay.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, Alex, for breaking that down. Appreciate that. Now, in Parkin, Oklahoma City is taking racing to a whole new level. Check this out, guys. They held an event called Extreme Racing. Instead of horses, the jockeys rode on different animals like ostriches, zebras, and even camels. Wow. After all the fun was done, fans were able to meet with the animals and take pictures with them.
I'm going to be so real. How do you know which one's which? You're
like,
oh my gosh.
A zebra or a camel? They're different animals.
Well, no, I don't mean between. I mean, like, if there's like 8 camels, 8 zebras, 8 ostriches, how do you know which one's which? I know they can take pictures with them, but are
The
they
same way they do the Kentucky Derby
Yeah, is this
and the
not
dog
okay,
races.
is this not animalist? Like they have different markings, you know, they have different facial structures. They have a lot of things that you can identify the difference between two ostriches.
Oh, wow.
It's just your eyes can't seem to
He's
see
just
that.
burned out right now.
Yeah.
He just needs to take a nap.
Can't tell the difference between a zebra and a camel. This is crazy.
Cameron's trying to cancel me, man.
I'm not
This is
trying
crazy.
to cancel you. I'm as a good journalist, I'm just quoting what my sources say.
Quoting straight from the source.
Straight from the source.
Wow, can't tell the difference
can't
between
tell
a
the
zebra and a camel.
This guy hates ostriches. He's an emu lover. He doesn't like them. He's like,
Oh, do I miss having both of y'all at the same time?
Wow, thank you.
all right, well, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we're going to not talk about zebras, camels, and ostriches. We've actually got Austin Thiemann talking about something very important.
Oh, wow.
He's got some updates at the strike at Illinois State University as we head into week 2, the picket lines.
Can you believe we switch back and forth like that? Wow.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines and WMBD Plus. Our next story of the day. We're now into week 2 of the ASME strike going on at Illinois State University.
WMBD's Austin Thiemann has been covering the strike since the beginning and joins us now live from Studio B to explain what happened at today's bargaining session. So, Austin, what was the outcome of this bargaining session this morning?
Yes, thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Cameron. So the outcome of this bargaining session is not what either party was really looking for. The strike is going to continue for the near future. They did not reach an agreement during this bargaining session this morning. They scheduled it on Monday, I believe, for Wednesday at 10 a.m. They met this morning and they just did not come to an agreement with a contract, so the strike is going to continue. Basically, from talking to the union, they were saying that ISU did not change their offer at all. They kind of put out the same thing that they have been putting out since the beginning, their last and final offer. But yeah, and the union came out of there and they were saying that their time was being wasted since ISU didn't really have anything new to offer. When they gave the mediator their offer before the meeting in the morning, ISU said no and did not give them kind of a counter offer or anything, and just said this final offer is all we have, and take it or leave it. So for the near future, we're going to continue to see the strike. There's no bargaining session scheduled for any time in the future. As of right now, that could change. As we know, things change very quickly. That could change tomorrow, and the university or the union says, you know what, we want to come back to the bargaining table and try to work it out again. But as of right now, nothing is scheduled, and the strike will continue on.
Okay, Austin, I first have to compliment you on your tie. You can't see me, but I'm also wearing purple because today's Purple Up Day, but we're going to get on
Wait,
to what that
Austin
stands
can't see us?
No.
I thought he could see us the whole time. I was making funny moves to try and make him laugh. But anyway.
We'll get into what Purple Up Day means later on in the show, but I'm going to let Cameron.
All right, well, what's next for the union, Austin?
Yeah, thank you guys. Now, I didn't even know, Brianna, that you were wearing purple today. So I think a few days ago we were also wearing the same color, so we must be on the same wavelength. But basically, what's next for the union is, like I said, they're going to continue to strike. They're going to continue going on, striking and being on the picket lines and going forward with that until either party comes back to the table with an offer that they like. It's going to continue on. I was talking with them earlier, and the union members are feeling frustrated and upset that ISU is choosing to hire outside contractors to do their jobs rather than to get them a fair contract so they can do their jobs. They're a little frustrated with that, and they've mentioned that a few times. Before it was only 3 contractors, now it's 4 contractors. They are on campus, they're doing the jobs of the workers on strike, and yeah, so it's really just a waiting game now to see, is ISU going to budge on their end? Will the union budge on their end? We'll really have to wait and see how this all plays out in the next few weeks.
All right, thank you, Austin. We had our little hot mic moment because I was really feeling the ties. But thank you, Austin, for that breakdown. Here's a heartwarming story. An act of kindness from a pizza delivery driver is getting a lot of attention out of Idaho, and it's paying off more than he could have imagined. Check this out.
We had a Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
I stopped at the store, though. So.
Oh, you did not have to do that.
Oh, that's okay.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, man.
Dan, the pizza man, went out of his way to buy a Diet Coke for a customer from a different store after his Domino's store ran out. The 68-year-old said he's been working this second job for 14 years and plans to retire soon. The family was so touched, they posted the video online and started a GoFundMe to help Dan in retirement. They raised more than $165,000.
That's a lot of money, but I really hope that money
is a
ends
lot.
up in his hands because, you know.
Right. People, right.
You know.
This is about the second delivery driver. We had one like a DoorDash. These Ring cameras are doing some good for the elderly because there was a guy that was like 70s, but him and his wife were taking care of a child that had some, you know, health problems, situations going on, and the Ring bell, and she was like, "Why is my delivery driver so old and delivering at this time of night?" And so they raised some money to help them out too. So they're doing some good.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely are. And maybe we should have our own Ring camera to see who's delivering after. Because I know there's a lot of DoorDashes in this building. There's a lot of people that love to get a little Uber Eats, even from like Chick-fil-A, which is just across the road.
Right.
I'm not judging. I'm just mentioning that this is happening.
know, that is wild. Because by the time you get to the fees, I'm like, maybe I don't. Really.
Yeah, when I see the $5 fees, I'm like, okay, gas isn't that expensive.
Right.
You know, right?
Like either I won't get it or I'm just going to watch the Rum Burgers.
You know, going on University and War Memorial always feels like am I going to die today kind of vibe. But, you know, sometimes that's
like we need to
$3.
revisit that infrastructure plan in that area.
Oh, yeah. I think we need to
Especially
set
by
up
the
like a
McDonald's.
teleporter at this point. That's like the only way to fix it.
Well, we got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. Alex Berger will be back in the hot seat to talk about some last-minute tips for tax day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, our final story of the day. It's tax day, the time where all of your income taxes are due.
We have Alex Berger back in the hot seat to share some last-minute tips. So what should people know?
I like how Cameron says do.
Do.
It's fun.
Like he's from, was it Maryland? The DMV?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But on taxes, people should know that if you have, well, first off, if you haven't already filed your taxes, get on, get on
Your
that.
Zoom. Get
now,
on your Zoom.
Turn this off. Actually, hop on your computer.
Look at your W-2 right now.
And file an extension because that's what you're going to have to do. However, what people should know is there is, still time to file an extension. Everybody that makes, any more than $15,575, if you are a single person, if you're filing jointly, married, that goes up. However, if you need to file an extension, there are ways to do that. But if you make more than that amount that I just listed, $15,575, if you make more than that or more, you have to file. If there's no age limit on it, but if you're somebody who's only making $10,000, it's a little different. It's not, you don't actually have to get the return. But make sure that you're still good. You can and still have a return. You still can submit and get a return, but you are required to report any income that is $15,575 or more.
Oh, okay.
That
might
sense?
explain. Yes, because that explains why I haven't got my W-2. I didn't get my W-2 from my part-time job when I had a little bit because I didn't hit the 15,000 mark. So they were like, we are not wasting paper and stamps on you, girl.
Yep, exactly.
I was wondering though, but how can we file an extension?
I'm glad I could provide that clarity. So filing an extension is a little bit easier than actually filing the taxes themselves. To actually file the extension on the IRS website, there's a way that you can go on there and click, I want to file here and say, it needs to, give me until this time, right? You still got to pay some of, you got to still pay some of that money due, but to actually get your taxes filed, you can put a little extension on that. The easiest thing to do is really go through a tax professional. That is paramount when it comes to a process like this, because look, I don't know a ton about money, right? But you know what I do know how to do is hand my money stuff to a tax professional who can put that through and can say, all right, that's all good. There's also online sources that you can do, or you can do it yourself, even for people who may not know a whole lot about taxes or money or anything like that. There are ways that you can do that, and it's kind of simple.
Yeah, you need to pay money for a tax professional, DoorDash, all these essentials. Now, has this been
Xbox Game Pass?
Xbox Game Pass, obviously from, GameStop or whatever it's called.
Right.
But has this been a good year for returns?
This has. It's actually been a record year for tax service. So for people getting their returns on time, people are seeing a higher actual return on their taxes. There have been certain tax credits that were implemented this year, a senior tax credit. People also are able to take advantage of the child tax credits, stuff like that. But yeah, so people are starting to see, returns promptly after they've been able to file the tax, and it's been a record year. That's from the IRS CEO too.
Wow.
I'm not just saying that. You know what I mean? But it
that guy probably knows what he's talking about.
Exactly. He owns it.
He owns it. He's the guy that decides all the taxes. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So.
All right, well, Alex, thank you for those last-minute tips.
Thank
In
you.
addition to April 15th being Tax Day, it is also Purple Up Day.
Whoa.
It's a day to honor all military children during the month of the military child.
Okay.
Now, fun fact, I discovered this coincidentally while filling in on the morning show wearing purple on the exact date in 2024.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Nathan was like, hey, you're wearing purple, it's Purple Up Day. I have the video. And then he was like, it's for military children. I'm like, oh, I'm also a military child.
Oh, my.
So I do try to wear purple this time each year.
Yeah.
I have two pictures. The first one is my birthday, circa 1999, with my friend Devontae in Guam. And then, fun fact, I moved up here. I moved to Central Illinois, and we can go to the second picture.
Let's see it.
And he lives in Chicago now. So this is 2022 Labor Day. We got a chance to recreate the picture
That is
that
so
we took
sweet.
at my 6th birthday. So
Does he have some locks? Is he on a? Is he on a lock journey
He had little
there?
froze and going into some locks at the time.
Is that still going?
I
Is he
don't
still
know.
on it?
I
did
did
see
text
you
him.
weren't wearing. I could forgive you not wearing purple in the 2022 image, but the 1999 image, I expect better from you.
No purple.
No purple.
Don't
Man.
get me. I'll pull out the records. I have pictures of me wearing purple. I have friends that are like, "Oh, you've been a purple girl." Yes,
All right.
I'm royal.
You've had purple locked down for years.
I have. It looks good. I mean, I went to the gas station today. The lady was like, "Oh, purple is your color." It's like, "Thank you, ma'am."
Well, you get compliments. I get, oh, you're that tall British guy from Channel 31. Yeah, well, at least you got most of that right.
At least they know who you are. I get called Chris Yates.
Yeah.
So.
Or the choir boy.
Exactly.
I love when I have the two of y'all on the show. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines.
You can find all these stories and more over where?
On our website, ciproud.com.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.